blame for everything.
I think we're all right.
You're squandering tax dollars. I won't have a problem with that.
Yeah.
And I can, I can get criticized for that all day.
No,
That's right. What's being done is right.
well, yeah, you're gonna get criticized by him, that's it.
Yeah.
Nobody else will criticize. No.
So there's a lot of other people glad that it finally come to light.
I told my wife it is that, I said, "Hey, everybody doesn't like it." Anyway, somebody made a Facebook, but she said, David, she said, you may be right. She said,
No, maybe.
she said, I read these things, she said, about time.
No, are they gonna be here too?
All right, it is 9 o'clock, so we're going to call this administrative meeting to order. Appreciate everybody being here today. Hope everybody had a happy and safe July the 4th holiday. I know we did. And no Commissioner Herring, I asked him this morning if he paid a lot of sales taxes. He's in the firework business, and he assured me that he did pay a lot of sales taxes over the weekend. So I'm glad you had a good weekend.
Glad I can support my salary.
That's right.
Yes,
That's
sir.
right. That's right. All right, there is one item we have one item under awards and recognition, and then there's one item on the regular agenda, on the proposed regular agenda, but there's two items that the commission needs to consider adding. And then we have two privileges of the floor request, so we will get to all those this morning. So the first item under awards and presentations is a recognition for the 2024 Wicksburg Ozone All-Stars. They won the state championship this year. So congratulations to them, but they'll be here to introduce themselves. And I think they're going to be going to Louisiana is where they typically go. So they'll talk about that. So is there any objection to placing that item on the agenda?
No objection.
All right, moving on to the regular agenda, the only item currently proposed is a request to sell factory truck beds for F-250 trucks on Gov Deals. This is from you, or is this from the?
Through us, but it's some trucks on it. Tommy had bought, they put bodies on, so it's just. bodies
Gotcha.
of Trucks. It
Gotcha.
don't need anything else.
Okay. Okay. Any questions on this item?
No.
Any objection to placing this item on the agenda?
No objection.
Okay. All right, there's two additional items that we need to consider. And item number two, proposed item number two, come in from the Revenue Commissioner, Starla Moss, who is here to answer any questions if there are any. And it is a request to approve the 2023 insolvents, errors, and taxes and litigation and uncollected insolvents and litigations for previous years for final settlement with the state of Alabama. This is a normal and customary item. We do this every year, but I will ask the commission if there are any questions or discussion about this proposed item.
No, sure, I'm good.
Okay. All right. At this point, because it did not go out on the thing, I will entertain a motion to add this to the agenda for
Motion.
10 o'clock. We have
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Herring, a second by Commissioner Adams. Any questions or discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay? All right, that item has been added to the agenda for 10 o'clock. And then the proposed next item deals with Cottonwood EMS services. As y'all know, we've had some issues in Cottonwood, and I think we are in the process now of cleaning that up. And the request, as I have edited it, and we may need to give that some consideration, is a request to approve $10,000. I'm sorry, request to approve $10,000 appropriation to the Houston County EMS Association to be used for administrative purposes, including the support of the Cottonwood Rescue Squad, and approve accompanying budget amendment. So quarterly, we send $5,500 to each rescue squad. So this is a little bit above and beyond that. And the reason is because there's most likely, from talking to press, going to be a lot of legal expenses that's going to be incurred by the EMS Association. So my understanding, and I had a conversation with Tommy Starling, who's president of the EMS Association this morning, is that the old board, including Mr. Stokes, has resigned. So that was effective 4 p.m. on Friday. There was a new board that has assumed sort of control of that entity. But it probably behooves them, in my opinion, it's not for me to decide, but in my opinion, it behooves them to shut down the old existing entity and spin up a new entity to kind of clean that up as and to get away from a lot of the liability of the previous board. So I don't know. I'm not an attorney, and our attorney will be here a little bit later on. He may be able to answer some more questions, but just based on the murkiness right now, the waters aren't quite settled. So the proposal is to not necessarily send the money to Cottonwood Rescue, but to send the money to the EMS Association and pretty much earmark it for support of the Cottonwood Rescue Squad, whether that's legal fees incurred by the association for things dealing with Cottonwood or direct support to the new Cottonwood Rescue Squad. That's a lot. So any questions?
Can I make a statement?
Yes. Commissioner
What the chairman didn't, Mr. Stokes stepped aside and Captain Bo Dethridge with the Hodgesville stepped in to continue Cottonwood ambulance service. I want to say thank you to him for what he's doing. That's a big task to run ambulance service right there. And he's doing it out of the goodness of his heart because he just like the rest of us, he knows people in Cottonwood is going to need services when they need it. And I want to say thank you to him from the commission and from the people of Cottonwood for what he's doing.
That is an excellent point. It's so good to see good people stepping up. So, any other questions or comments on this?
I do have one question. When will they announce who the new board members is for Cottonwood Rescue? Do we have any idea or?
They have a new board, and I know it consists of Bo Dethridge, Rita Parrish, and I'm not sure of who else.
When I talked to him on Saturday, he had a plan, putting it together and going to bring it to the commission with it. So
Good.
he just doing that, like I said, just to take care of people, nothing more, nothing less.
I'll make a motion, move forward.
All
Second.
right, so we have a motion by Commissioner Herring to add this to the agenda, and we have a second by Commissioner Adams. So any further questions or discussion? All in favor of adding this to the agenda, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, nay? All right, that is added. All right, let's see, let's do the staff reports first, and then we'll do the privileges of the floor. Staff reports, Mr. Chief Administrative Officer.
No reports.
Judge?
What's up?
Oh, I'm on the wrong agenda. Sorry.
It'll be okay.
Jackie gave me the 10 o'clock agenda.
Right.
Sorry, all right. I confused myself. All right, privileges of the floor. Thank you. Somebody will always keep me straight. We have Mr. Norman, who's going to come address the commission about a ditch behind his house. So Mr. Norman, if you will come up and if you will press that button one time, that red light will light up behind your microphone. It'll be on and you will have 5 minutes.
Got one question. I went to the guy in the city last month, and he said that y'all have to do it. And then he said, y'all say he have to do it. Got my, they put a ditch behind my back, they covered the ditch up, or it is 3421 Jordan Avenue, they covered the ditch up on my house. Now it's flooding after y'all put another ditch in, cover him. And it's what he say, she say, he say. I just want to know, who do I need to go to, y'all or the city?
Mr. Engineer.
First of all, we hadn't covered any ditch up. The ditch has been covered years and years ago. It's in the town of Cowards.
Good.
And there's a 72-inch pipe that's supposed to drain a big watershed area back there. And this ditch, he is correct, it is blocked up and it's been blocked up. But that ditch needs cleaning out in order for the flooding to stop. Now, we don't have a road issue. Our roads are not flooding. The houses are flooding. So we need a request from the town, since it's in the town limits, to clean this ditch out. And the town will be responsible for getting any easements and all required to do this work,
Gotcha, gotcha.
because we don't have a road issue.
Yeah, yeah.
But it does need to, you are correct there, sir.
The whole point of it is, you know, you say it ain't your responsibility, you say it ain't his responsibility. Whose responsibility is it? That's my biggest
It
thing.
would be mine if it was a road problem.
Yeah.
And it's not. So,
Yeah, this is, we encountered this, I know when I was a commissioner, I encountered this a couple of areas. So you're actually, you're not gonna feel this way, but you're actually a little lucky that you're in a town, because if you're somewhere else in an unincorporated area, there's probably nothing that we could do for your issue, because we have the road system. And so the taxpayers give us money to maintain the road system. So if it's not a road issue, we really don't get involved. So it would be, if you were out in Wicksburg, for instance, it would be just an issue between two private property owners potentially. But like the engineer said, I mean, we do work on behalf of the town of Cowart. So we understand that the towns like Cowart and Ashford, they don't have the resources to be able to buy the equipment and do the work. So what we do with those, and it's a very good value, they will make a request, and then we do all the work. We provide the labor, the equipment. Now that we do request the towns reimburse us for materials, but that's it. So it's a very good value for the towns, but we do the work, but it's still their responsibility, if that makes sense. So if it's not a road issue, it's going to be a town issue. So the town will have to acquire the easements and then do a formal request, and the mayor can sign that, Mayor Cowart can sign that, and then he will put it on his schedule and we'll go get it done. So that's what's got to take place.
And he, like I'm saying, this, he said, she said, it's not getting nowhere.
Yeah.
Because y'all came out and got requests on the easements and all, and one stopped it. One guy said they ain't gonna do it, that's his property, I understand that. But my property is flooding, I think it's about putting dirt and I'm flooding everybody out.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
That's my right to do that, but I don't want to spend money with it. Back to flood.
Yeah.
I know it's gonna get water back there because it's low, but not like it's been getting.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know, we ain't had no rain basically, and I got water back there right now,
gotcha.
so.
you live at the smaller pipe where it's backing up.
He-
flooding?
I live in-
He live- He lives at the 72-inch pipe,
Okay, okay.
right south of it.
I live right in the middle of both of the pipes.
Yeah, there's a huge area back there that's holding water.
Yeah, and the mosquitoes are so bad, so.
Gotcha. Yeah, but if the town if they will get the easements and then put in that request, we will get the work done.
He's telling me, y'all gotta do something. That's the whole point. So y'all two gotta get together. I'm in the middle here,
Yeah,
Who is the mayor?
The mayor,
the
The-
mayor of Cowers.
the mayor's saying that we have to initiate it. In reality, the town of Cowart needs to initiate the
it's a
process
town issue.
because it's his ditch.
We went and surveyed all this, checked it to make sure we hadn't done something wrong with the pipes.
Yeah.
And, found this ditch that stopped up.
Gotcha.
And we've got shots, we've got profiles, we got everything that's needed. It's just, we don't have the request from
And
town.
he's not.
Yeah,
not
even,
moving.
yeah,
I gotta get him to move.
Just like you're doing now, go to their town council.
But he told me to shut up last time. With that.
He's
I-
correct.
I can't help you with that. That's outside of our power to solve town of Cowart's issues. I don't know, that don't make you feel any better, but even if it was if a county road in Cowart's, we can maintain that. But even if it was a city road, if it was a road issue, but if it was a town of Cowart's road,
Yeah.
they still have to put in that request before we do the
See,
work.
what he's saying, it's the flooding is coming off y'all road. That's what he's doing. You heard him.
I know.
He's saying it's coming off of your road. I don't get where it's coming from.
Yeah, yeah,
So that's the issue. He's throwing back on y'all.
Chairman, there's a big pond behind it and it's an overflow coming out of it. Now, there is some water coming off of Crawford, but it's a small amount of money, small amount of water coming off. Majority is coming out of a big bay back there.
gotcha.
And several years ago, like 30 years ago, they blocked it off. And how this come about was that big flood on February the 12th. The shop and all was flooding down there and Mr. Reader went out there And they got looking at it, and then the 36-inch pipe was way above it. Then they went up the road to a 72-inch pipe that didn't have this much water in it.
I mean, it
And then that's when they come back to their office and went to profile and deemed it out that somebody closed that ditch years and years ago.
But this whole drainage area we're talking about is in the town limits of Calvert.
Correct.
I mean, there are county roads that join it,
Yeah.
but that whole area is in the town limits, so.
And
Yeah.
just a little clarification,
Yes, sir.
we're talking about off right away, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
the whole point, I'm trying to get y'all two together. And I'm fighting this battle.
Yeah, the mayor, town of Cowarts has to put in that request. So like even if, and we follow this same procedure with everybody, like if we just went out there and did the work and we get audited
Yeah, I understand that.
and we do get audited and, you know, Commissioner Adams is going to be the one that signs that off right away request. And so if we were to get in trouble for that audit, we would get in trouble because we're spending taxpayer dollars on a private property issue. There's no request to back up anything from the town of Cowarts. Commissioner Adams is on the hook to pay that money back. So we require everybody to follow the same procedure. If the town of Cowarts will put in that request, we will do that work and we'll be glad to do it. But that request has to come first.
But what I'm saying, what he's saying, y'all got initiated, he's got it, you saying he's got it.
He is incorrect. I'm telling you, he is incorrect.
So I can tell him that.
Yes, he is incorrect.
Yes.
Because I'm fitting to tell him that. So somebody might have to bail me out, but I'll tell him that.
Well, we're really willing and able if we get the work order to do this work.
Yeah.
And Commissioner Adams is on board and we know it needs doing.
But the big issue, you got one stopping it, one guy stopping it, and he won't go to the guy, and y'all won't go to the guy, so. I don't know.
Well, like I said, if it was a road issue, we
Yeah.
would get behind it, but it's not, so. I'll man it.
Yeah, I understand,
Yeah.
but you gotta realize.
I do, I
Well,
understand.
I'm saying,
Yes.
I'm very frustrated about it.
I understand.
Couldn't stop putting dirt on the property, you know, flood the whole neighborhood out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mr. Chairman, can I say something?
Yeah.
Sir, I'm gonna give you two pieces of advice.
Yes, sir.
One is you need to go get you an attorney, and number two, you need to find you a new mayor.
Oh, look, you ain't got that little problem now, we'll be, I'm gonna very much, my folks, be proud, so I'll let you try, I'll be doing good, I do pay my taxes. I ain't paying no money. Thank y'all for listening.
Yes, sir.
You did that, man?
I will be there.
Thank you, sir. All right. Next up, we have a request by Mr. Gary Knight. Gary? Have 5 minutes.
Because I got a lot to talk about. And I'm high and dry right now.
Well, I'll sit back down.
I haven't got that problem. What I'm doing more or less, expanding a little bit on this cottonwood deal, and it goes even further than this. There are programs, and we've talked about this in enterprise. And what it does is it exposes the, the register of money spent by county, if you would, who requested and what it's spent for. There is no checks and balances that the county right now is using that would keep this problem that they have in Cottonwood, that would help it on the public. If we had this register, and I know it's expensive, but look what it's costing for the auditors, look what it's costing for time and money. This needs to be done. There are no checks and balances on money spent. This program would make it available to the politicians, and it's also be made public. What happens to salaries, like I mentioned earlier, it doesn't have to do anything. This program does not buy lingerie, but it would detect who does buy lingerie, if you understand what I'm saying. It can be viewed by elected officials who have done right away. If I want to buy an airplane and I put in for it, then this would come out and be public information. And you, as political representatives, are overseers of the taxpayers' money. You would say, well, wait a minute, what are you buying this airplane? It doesn't take a year and a half to get out there. It would be invaluable for budget. We talked about how you can prepare a budget. You know, if you needed to know how much so-and-so is paying, or this one particular entity of the county is used, you could punch a button in 30 seconds, you would have this information. You wouldn't have to dig out all this information and hand search it. This is something that can be done. It can be done through your IT people. I do not know what the initial cost is, but I'll tell you this, it's going to be well worth the money. Implement this thing. You can prevent this from happening, or at least slow it down. It would be a deterrent for any official to start doing silly stuff and spending this money, because they know it would become public information. And it would become in a timely manner. So this is something that can be done. It must be done. The taxpayer has the right to be protected by the commission. You owe it to them. So this ought to be looked into. It's going to take an initial hit, a lot of money, but this program can be more or less tailored to your needs. Simply, who's buying what, and why is it being purchased? That's not too much to ask. Taxpayers taking a hit. They do not trust the public, and I'll be perfectly honest with you. I don't want to find them. Because when you ask a question, you say, well, gee, I don't know the answer. Well, can you find out the answer? That's up to you to find out the answer. That's not the case. We know who the purchaser is. We know how much is being requested. And it takes the guesswork out of things. I don't know, our IT people can go to Enterprise, or whoever the person is who writes this program, they can have it modified. It does not tell the salaries of the employees. It does not tell anything if you don't want it to. But we've got a situation here where we've got a Melba Hess down in Cottonwood right now, and it could have been a verdict. The commission, by failing to do this, is adding to the atmosphere of letting people do it until they get caught. And then if they get caught, they pay the money back and there's no criminal proceedings done. You know, the DA, his hands are tied. The sheriff, their hands are tied. They need to have aggression on the part of the county commission to say, hey, we're not going to put up with this. This is not going to happen again. If the truth is your enemy, who's your friend? You need to get your, it's costly. How much does it cost to go to the state auditor's office? How much time does it take for them to turn around and do this? I know I've talked to some commissioners who said, I made this request a long time ago. This can be cut down substantially. This information can be provided to the auditor and all. It's got to be done. It's got to be done, and not just in this area. There are other areas, and you know I've talked to you about it. I appreciate the county commission, what they put up with me, because I kept coming up and asking for an audit. And I said, okay, you pay for an audit. You wouldn't have to pay for it. You would be there, right in your hands, and you can hold people accountable. You can ask that hard question. You can go to the attorney general and say, is this legal or illegal? If he says it's illegal, then take the necessary moves.
We appreciate you coming. You're 6 minutes into your 5-minute limit, but I gave you a little bit of grace because you always are respectful. So a couple of comments and some of these things. First of all, let me just say that I greatly appreciate your concern over how your tax dollars are being spent. That's a concern that's shared by me, I know, and this entire commission. And so we greatly appreciate your concern as well as your respectfulness in your comments. I know we've, right now and there's a lot to unpack here. So right now we are on a very antiquated budget system. Now we're going to a new budget system. And to your point, this is something that this software will not work with our current system, but maybe once we go to the new system, that is something that we could consider in terms of checks and balances. And a lot of people don't know this, and you may know some of it or may not. but we get audited every year. Every year, we're just going through, we're still going through one right now. We're going through one right now. So and that's the commission. The commission gets audited every year by the same people that caught the issues going on down in Cottonwood. Also, anyone that works for the county government can file an anonymous report to the Ethics Commission, and they will look into the things that if I were to suspect that a county employee was embezzling money, I could file an anonymous report. Or one of the commissioners could file an anonymous report against me, and I would never know who filed that report. It would be completely anonymous. So that encourages people to report things. And then every year, every one of these gentlemen, including those gentlemen, and including a lot of people in county government, are given a form that they have to sign if they know of any self-dealing or fraud in county government. So we have to sign our name that we don't know of anything. And I will tell you, quite frankly, there have been some years where it has been reported that people had concerns about this, that, or the next thing within Houston County. And those things have been looked into by the auditors. In terms of oversight for the software that you're talking about, if we were to implement that, it would give you insight into the funds that are controlled by the commission. So there's county funds that are not controlled by the commission. There's the sheriff has discretionary funds, the revenue department has discretionary funds, and the probate judge has discretionary funds that you would never have insight into using this software, because it wouldn't be on our budget. It would be on a different budget, and the software wouldn't have insight into it. The reason Cottonwood and a lot of these other nonprofits, especially rescue squads and volunteer rescues, kind of run into issues sometimes is that I think you have an issue where you've got people that are trying to do the right thing, but they're not financial reporting compliance professionals. And there's a lot of that goes on. And so there's honest mistakes that happen. And there's also dishonesty that happens in thank goodness, very few departments, but they do happen. Currently, the auditors, which we get examined every year, I think I talked about the sheriff, revenue department, probate judge, they get audited every 2 or 3 years. I'm not exactly sure. But the rescue squads never get audited unless there's a compelling reason to do so. So, and in this case, there wasn't a compelling reason. So, anyway, I just want to say in closing, I appreciate your concern. One of the things that frightens me more than anything else is that could possibly be some sort of fraud or embezzlement going on within county government under my watch. I'll be extremely embarrassed if that happens. So that keeps me up at night. So I share your concern, and we appreciate you coming to address us today. And with that, that's the end of the administrative meeting. So at this point, I will entertain a motion to adjourn until 10 o'clock. We are adjourned. Thank you. 10.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Ms. Jack, did you get the wording on item 3?
Is that the same as what I've done?
It's a little bit.
Here.